What is up, everybody? It is JT Sports. I'm back to you guys with another video. This video, I am going to be giving you guys my record prediction for the Miami Hurricanes for the upcoming 2021 college football season. Now, the way I do my record predictions is different from how a lot of people do their record predictions. Normally, everybody goes game by game, but I do my record predictions based on three scenarios. I have my best case, worst case, and my final record prediction. So I'm going to go through how good Miami could be this year and also how bad Miami could be this year, and then give you guys my realistic record prediction for the upcoming college football season. I also plan to do more teams within the next couple of weeks. I'm going to try to knock out the bigger teams, then head down the list of the smaller schools and whatnot. So if you enjoy college football and you enjoy NFL content, this is the right channel for you. Make sure that you guys go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 15,000 subscribers before the start of the NFL season and the college football season. I know we can go ahead and get that done, so make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button. So when you look at the Miami Hurricanes, I feel like this is the best Miami team that has been put on the field in a very long time. You have the Eric King returning at quarterback. He's one of the best QBs in all of college football. You have a really good group of wide receivers. You pick up Charleston Rambo in the transfer portal. You also have Mike Harley, who was the best receiver on Miami's roster last season. You have an offensive line that should be pretty solid this year. You have one of the best running back rooms in all of college football. So this should be one of the best offenses in all of the nation this year. You also have a really experienced defense. You have questions about how you're going to look up front, but I'm not really worried about Miami in that department because Miami constantly produces very good interior defensive linemen that always end up going to the NFL. So you got a veteran safety group as well, veteran corner. So this is a pretty experienced team all the way around. I think my best case scenario for the Hurricanes has to be 10-2. The reason why I say 10 wins probably would be best case is because you look at this team, Manny Diaz is going into year 3 as the head coach for this program. And normally the previous couple of Miami head coaches have had really big years in their third seasons. You look at Al Golden, you look at Mark Richt. Those guys in their third seasons with the program have had very good years. I'm looking for Manny Diaz to take that big step up, okay? Because it seems like Manny Diaz, okay, the first year he had some growing pains. We all remember when they lost to Georgia Tech, a team that was pretty much transferring from the triple option, trying to transfer their offense to a more traditional style offense now. You also remember when Miami lost to Louisiana Tech a year back. So for Miami under Manny Diaz, there has been some highs, but there also has been a lot of lows. I'll probably have to say there have been way more lows than there have been highs. But last year was definitely a step in the right direction. You look at Miami, they beat teams that they should have beaten, like Louisville. I felt like that was a game in the past that Miami normally loses, beating teams that they have been favored to win. You also have the blowout win against the rival Florida State. So there were some really good victories. You also had some downs, like when you got manhandled by Clemson. UNC ran for pretty much 2,000 yards against you, it felt like. So for Miami, there definitely were a lot of positives to take away from last year. I think going into year 3 for Manny Diaz, this is a very big year for him, and I definitely feel like he can rise up to the occasion, which I feel like best case scenario could be 10-2. And with a 10-2 record, you definitely should be able to win the Coastal, and you should be able to make it to the ACC championship game. Now, my worst case scenario for Miami is going to be 8-4. Miami has some really tough games. Now, you got Alabama, who you're going to kick off the season with. That's going to be your opener. I personally don't think Miami is going to win that game. If I was a betting man, I would probably take Alabama. And I know there's going to be a lot of optimistic Miami Hurricane fans that come on here and be like, man, JT, you tripping, man. We're going to beat Alabama. And it's all good to say that you have confidence in your team and whatnot. Me being a Hurricane fan, I have confidence that Miami can beat Alabama too. I feel like Miami has a better shot at beating Alabama than what a lot of people give them credit for. But everybody's confident about about their team until you tell somebody to go ahead and put some money on the line. Then everybody starts to second guess themselves. So I still like Miami a lot. I do think they can have a competitive matchup with Alabama, but ultimately I think Alabama should win that game. Then you have a tough game against Michigan State. I think Michigan State could be pretty solid this year. You got UNC coming up. I know UNC lost a lot of talent, but you still have Sam Howell. You still have some good pieces there. You also got Georgia Tech. I think Georgia Tech is being highly underrated going into this year. They also have a head coach who's going into their third season as well. You look at what Georgia Tech did last year with my guy, Jeff Simmons, when he was a freshman quarterback. You also had a couple of young players who were starting on Georgia Tech's team as well, who really had pretty good years to be true freshmen. So you look at Jeff Sims going into year two, you look at all of the other young guys who they have with more experience underneath their belt. I think Georgia Tech could be a really dangerous team this year, and I definitely feel like this could be a game that could be potentially be an upset for the Miami Hurricanes, being in the middle part of the year. Then you also have Florida State. Now, I understand that Florida State got ran out the building by Miami last year, but I don't expect that to be the same case this year. I think that should be a really competitive game. I think this is a game that could go either way, believe it or not, because although it may feel like FSU is in a rebuilding stage, Mike Norvell and Florida State have attacked the transfer portal heavily this year. As a matter of fact, they have several guys who they acquired from the transfer portal so far this offseason, and a lot of those guys have been ranked in 247 Sports top 100 transfer portal prospects. So you look at FSU, this is a team that definitely I expect to be really competitive this year. You got Mackenzie Milton at quarterback. We remember how good he was when he was playing for UCF. So I definitely feel like that is a game that probably could be a potential upset for the Miami Hurricanes. It also is in the later part of the year. Then you have Virginia Tech. There's a lot of pressure on Virginia Tech this year, especially when it comes to their head coach. Their head coach definitely has one of the hottest seats in all of college football, and he has to be able to go out there and produce. And I think Virginia Tech's roster is pretty good as well. So there's some really tough games that Miami has, especially in the middle half of the year. You got to face Georgia Tech. You got to play FSU late in the season. I think there are some potential upsets on this schedule for Miami, which is why I think the worst case scenario could be 8-4. And you could look at that as a positive, because I can remember the last time we said the worst case scenario for Miami was 8 wins, 4 losses. So I think 8-4 wouldn't be a bad year. I just think it would be a disappointing year. But I think that's the worst case scenario for Miami, because I can't see Miami losing no more than 4 games this year with the talent that they have on their roster. So for my final prediction, I think Miami goes 9-3 this year. I really wanted to say 10-2, but I'm going to say 9-3. I definitely feel like Miami's going to lose to Alabama. I feel like they probably will lose to some other teams on this schedule, probably UNC. I like Georgia Tech for the upset as well, as crazy as that may sound. Like, I just feel like Miami probably is going to lose 3 games this year. I don't know particularly where that's going to come from, but I know the first one is going to be Alabama, and then it probably is either going to be UNC, Georgia Tech, somewhere around those 2 teams. It maybe could be FSU, but I still think Miami should be able to beat FSU this year, even though they have, hit the transfer portal hard this year. It does look like Mike Norvell is trying to get this team ready to be competitive as soon as possible. But ultimately, I think the other 2 losses probably will come to Georgia Tech and the University of North Carolina. And I know the Georgia Tech loss that I'm predicting probably sounds really crazy, and I may be overrating Georgia Tech just a tad bit, but I definitely feel like there are a lot of people out there who are sleeping on Georgia Tech. I'm really high on Georgia Tech, especially with Jeff Sims going into year 2. I think that definitely could be an upset brewing. So I think 9-3 would be a pretty good prediction for Miami this year. Like I said, this is a really good team. I really want to say 10-2, but I just think that Miami's going to have a couple of games that they just slip up, and I think those are going to be Georgia Tech and UNC. So you guys give me your record prediction for the Miami Hurricanes down in the comment section down below. Make sure that you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and college football videos, and thank you guys for watching.